Well, David, we get the opportunity today to talk to you a little bit about Aeon, and it is absolutely one of my favorite patches. And if just as we're getting into this, I would love to actually share with you my personal experience with Aeon, because it has meant so much to me. I've spent most of my career in product marketing and product management. I've come across a lot of phenomenal products in my time. And one of the things that really drove me to LifeWave is that this technology does not exist anywhere else in the world. There's nowhere else that you can find it. And the moment that I spoke with you that day about 6.5 months ago, I turned to my wife and I said, there is not a way I can't be a part of this because it is so special. Well, I got my my shipment of patches, and I started wearing X39 and Aeon from day one. And I faced some health challenges coming in. It wasn't just my professional career that led me to LifeWave. It was also my health journey that led me here. And after 6 months of wearing the patches, I can tell you I am feeling incredible, absolutely incredible, a noticeable difference in my health, in my wellness, in my energy, in my pain, all of it. And my wife, she just tells me every day she's so grateful that we found LifeWave. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for all you've done and for these amazing products. Now, one of the questions that we all want to know is, can you give us a little behind the scenes peek on Aeon? How did it come to be? What was the story behind it?
Well, every one of the patches has its own unique story, and that has definitely been a fun part of this amazing journey. I'm thankful to God every day that this company has been so blessed to touch the lives of people around the world. And with Aeon in particular, it was an incredibly interesting story. I had been in 4 books that Suzanne Somers wrote, and all 4 books went to New York Times bestsellers. And what Suzanne would do, incredible human being, extraordinarily gracious person, she would invite people to her home, the scientists and doctors that were in her book, and we would celebrate the release of this book and get to know one another. Up to that point, none of us had met one another unless it had been through, prior experiences with Suzanne or professionally. And by the way, getting invited to Suzanne Somers' house is quite an ordeal. This was a $30 million home out in the desert of Palm Springs, and just an incredible thing. And I was very, very fortunate to experience that. Well, as I met some of the doctors that were there, we began to talk about anti-aging and, what work was being done. And one of the doctors shared with me an experiment that he had done with bees. And what he had found, well, first of all, what's known is that the queen bee lives 50 to 60 times longer than the worker bee. And of course, our primary area of focus these days is age reversal. And so this was one of the early insights that I was getting into some of these mechanisms. And what he had found was that there was a very specific peptide that the queen bee was eating in the royal jelly. So the regular workers are going to eat the honey, and the queen bee eats the royal jelly, which is loaded with other nutrients. That's why it's called royal jelly, because it's reserved for the queen. And this peptide is what allows the queen bee to live so long. So he was able to synthesize this peptide, and he found out actually it occurs naturally in human beings. It's made in the liver, but it declines, the production declines with age. So he did an experiment. He took this peptide, he injected it into the worker bee, and one injection gave the worker bee an increase in lifespan of 5 to 6 times above normal. So could you imagine having a lifespan of 500 years old, right? And you just got one injection of a natural peptide. That would be pretty awesome. So he tried this in human beings, and what he found was that the peptide broke down very quickly. So in order for it to work in humans, you'd have to consume 300 grams per day. It has to be given by IV because it breaks down in the stomach like other peptides, and you have to take it in over a very long period of time, about 20 hours a day. So he said, unfortunately, it's just not practical. So I began to dig into the chemistry of this peptide because it does exist naturally. And what I found was that we could elevate it with the patch technology, and that's what Aeon became. So what we found when we tested the Aeon patch is that it does some extraordinary things which explain how it extends lifespan, or how this peptide extends lifespan. What we found was that the peptide would immediately reduce stress on the nervous system. In reducing stress, it reduces the inflammatory response, meaning that people that have chronic or acute inflammation above normal, this is going to help to bring inflammation back into a normal range. And one of the immediate benefits as a consequence is that it provides pain relief. So people can get all of these immediate benefits just from the first day of using Aeon. And then, we hope to see these incredible longevity effects over time.